Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from gorgeous Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
it's a podcast. I'm Dan.
And filling in for both Frank and Jake, I'm Mark.
Isn't it fun? I don't ever know how to do this goddamn intro. If it's not the Frank one, I'm just like, I'm lost.
I don't know how many times I've done this, and I still have to write it down every time. And then Jake's made notes on it, and I had to cross out Jake's notes, and now I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am anymore.
We're a damned mess is what we are. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about other damned messes. Like what happens if a boy turns out to be a girl.
The great trans panic of 2016.
Oh my God, everyone. Panic ensues as
Run for your lives.
people all across the country are trying to go to the bathroom.
The person pooing next to you might be different than you.
Difference!
Nation
Okay.
declares war.
Yes, exactly. We'll talk about that a little bit more down the road as we ease on down that road. In the meantime, let's tell some stories, shall we? I'll launch in.
Go ahead.
I got an atheist group. I don't know if you've heard of these atheists. They're out there.
Yeah, tell me more.
I don't trust them. The American Atheists Incorporated is suing the Bradley County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Eric Watson of Bradley County has been using the Sheriff's Office Facebook page and other social media to say things, to give happy thoughts to his constituents. Like, for instance, if on Easter he is risen.
Oh,
And plenty of other like lovely Jesus-y thoughts.
Right.
And then what would happen, of course, is that grumpy people like us would write things on that Facebook page like, maybe not. Maybe don't put those shitty things on the Facebook page.
Mr. Sheriff, a taxpayer-funded guy.
Mr. Taxpayer Sheriff Man.
Yeah.
Apparently, the page would then delete any critical or non-Jesus-y comments or whatever.
So his Mackenzie
Yes, exactly.
was deleting
Was just going through and sort of systematically
all the disagreeable things.
Right. Yeah. So the American Atheists and Bradley County resident identified as Jane Doe. I think I've heard of her before.
She seems to be in a mess of legal pickles all over the country.
She gets around that one.
Yeah.
She is filing suit, claiming that her First Amendment rights have been violated.
Because of the deletion.
Because of the deletion, yeah.
Not just because he was being an inappropriate dum-dum on
Right.
the Facebook page. Which,
Right. Dum-dumness is, I think, part of the lawsuit, but mostly it's about protecting. Here's a quote from Amanda Knief, or whatever.
Knife.
Knife. Her name is Knife.
Yeah.
She's a legal director for the American Atheists, and she said this lawsuit is about protecting the community's First Amendment right to speak out about its elected officials. Well, I don't think they have the right if they say mean things, do they?
Not if they say something that is disagreeable to a sheriff.
It seems to me that a sheriff has the right not to have to hear those potty-mouthed.
He's got First
Hooligans.
Amendment rights.
Yeah, he's got 0.5-ish amendment rights.
Yeah, his tender fifis are obviously requiring more protection than Jane Doe public.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, we'll try to keep you updated on how that goes.
Was this the same? Didn't we do a story about an Easter? Wasn't there a sheriff throwing like an Easter event and it got canceled and he was all mad?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, let's just assume it was the same guy.
Let's just assume that like this guy's the sheriff of every single county in the South.
And he looks like Chief Wiggum.
They're all the same. Boss hog.
Fat, sweaty Southern sheriff.
You didn't ever watch
that was Dukes
of Hazzard?
Well, we're podcasting in the morning, and I thought that was your rooster. I thought you were just...
You're like, Dan, you do the worst rooster impression ever. No, that is Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Oh, that's not... Who's the... Cooter?
Cooter's one of them. And then there was Boss Hog. I don't remember enough of it to really know anything else. You said Cooter, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a thing.
That's funny, because just yesterday I was trying to explain to a millennial in my office what hee-haw was.
Good luck.
And he's like, that was real?
I want you to explain to me what hee-haw was, because I watched it and I don't know what it was.
It's inexplicable.
It's
yeah, it was amazing. Minnie Pearl was on it, so that was cool. But.
And all I know is that I'm a pickin' and we're a grinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Those were good times.
Good times.
Shall I jump in with something?
Old people. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, I don't know how to take this as anything but good news.
Oh, hooray.
Yeah, you guys tell me if you disagree. The Arabic translation of The God Delusion has reportedly been downloaded 10 million times.
What?
And counting. I wish there was a little clicker.
There should be a clicker.
So there was an unauthorized, whatever. Somebody did a translation outside of Dawkins' permission, I suppose.
Sure, or the publisher.
The publisher. And a guy who lives in Sweden, who is an Iraqi refugee named Bassam al-Baghdadi, he translated it, and he has been keeping track of this thing, and he said that 30% of the downloads have been in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Yeah, which is Arabic for not a nice place to live.
Well, yeah, that's Arabic for get arrested for downloading this book.
Yeah, Beheadistan.
Right.
So Bassam said there were over 1,000 downloads on the very first day after he uploaded it, and the numbers only climbed as the translation was picked up and shared on the blogs, websites, and forums of prominent Arab atheists. The book has prompted unprecedented controversy and debate in the Arab and Islamic worlds.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think they could use a little something other than the Quran.
I mean, so here's the thing. This dude risks probably getting sued by the publishing company that does the God Delusion.
Probably the least of his problems.
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, yes. A fatwa from a publishing company is a lot less scary than than someone declaring an actual jihad on you.
A fatwa is not preceded by a cease and desist letter.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, he's got death threats already like crazy. And
of course, but what it points out is that it was a mistake on the part of the publishing company not to do this themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they would not do it themselves, but they should have. They should have made it available.
I wonder if, and I don't know enough about e-commerce, but I wonder if it would be too dangerous if it was deemed not profitable, because in e-commerce would governments be able to trace the purchase?
I don't know.
Versus just a download? I don't know.
You know, if I were Dawkins, and I am, I think. Am I?
Oh, that's who you look so familiar at first.
No, oh wait, maybe I'm not. Anyway, if I were Dawkins, I would probably just say,
go for it.
Go for it. And not only go for it, but let me help you and keep it free. I wouldn't try to make any money off of it, but yeah, just get that shit out there.
Yeah, it says he was made aware of it at a conference in Switzerland in 2014 and had no problem with it. So
good.
Because he is, obviously he is a missionary of a sort, and so this is reaching an audience that desperately needs skepticism to balance out, your sharias.
Your various and sundry sharias.
Yeah, every little flavor of sharia. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah. Hopefully not a lot of beheadings come out of it. But
yeah, that would be bad. But I mean, just getting, you can't make an omelet without cutting off a few eggs.
God, you can't make it. Frightening head omelet without severing a fin. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning, Dan.
Shh. Yeah. No, it's whatever time it is that you're listening to it.
Yes, live
and in charge. I'm going to take us to Ohio, the lovely state of Ohio,
land of Kasich,
land of many things. One of which being a megachurch called the World Harvest Church in Columbus.
Spooky.
Columbus is the capital of Ohio.
That's right.
I only know that because when I was in third grade, some kid taught me a mnemonic device, which was Columbus came to America and said, "Oh, hi-oh." And from then on, I will never, ever, ever be able to forget.
What's the mnemonic device for Carson City, Nevada?
Columbus came to America and said, "Hey, look, there's Carson City, Nevada."
That's good. That's super catchy.
Yeah, it is. You'll never forget now. So the World Harvest Church, mega church in Columbus, apparently was sued a few years back, in 2006, or rather, over events in 2006, where a young boy came home from church with bruises and all kinds of abrasions and whatnot from being beaten. Corporal punishment apparently was okay at the World Harvest Church. The parents, of course, sued the church because, fuck yeah, you sued the church for beating your child.
So it wasn't a scrape with another kid. It was an adult beating a child
with
his parents absent.
With a ruler, apparently. And this kid apparently...
How old a kid?
I don't know that it says that. But yes, it says that welts and bruises were all over the boy's body, including his penis.
Oh my God, what?
And
Jesus.
At first, World Harvest contended that at the trial that it was from a skin rash. It wasn't us. When they were made aware of it, they did not. The church did not investigate the guy the couple who is apparently the culprit.
Of course not, because it's all about the cover-up at that point.
Right. At that point, it's just you can't. No. There's no problem here. We're a church. Of course, we're okay. Eventually, the church lost the lawsuit and was issued. Well, apparently the jury awarded them like $6 million, and then that was the judge actually took that down to $2 million, and then let's see. The jury awarded $6 million in damages, but the amount was reduced by a judge to $2.9 million to reflect caps on damages. And then the church settled the case in 2009, 3 years later, for $3.1 million. Oh, did I say thousand? I meant million. Was I saying the word thousand?
You said million.
Okay. For some reason, my brain was like, no, you said thousand.
No, that's real money. That's like, okay, I would say $2 million for the general beating with an upcharge, a premium charge of $4 million for the whack on the dick.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
Don't you think that's fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
$6 million seems excessive for just smacking around.
Yeah, exactly.
But the whack on the dick is an extra sousson.
Yeah, you gave it that certain je ne sais quoi when you went.
Yeah, you elevated it.
So the kids, the people walked away with their millions. Great. I think they ended up with a total of $3.1 million.
So the church went completely just belly up, right?
No. But the church wanted their insurance to pay for it, which now the final word from a judge, some sort of major judge. The final word is that no, your insurance doesn't cover you beating people. Now they were claiming that it wasn't abuse. So apparently the case their claim on the insurance was because the insurance wisely the company had a clause that said we won't cover if you abuse children.
They've insured religious institutions before. Apparently,
indeed, it does smell like maybe they were like, let's get a couple clauses in here.
Experience,
right? Yeah. But they were like they were claiming this wasn't abuse; it was punishment. And therefore, totally in the realm of you have to pay for this.
Wow,
it was it's amazing. They lost that appeal as well.
Shit.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They did go to their parishioners for help to help pay for this thing. So when they settled the case back in 2009, they took to the internet with the appeal, a fundraising appeal to help the church deal with a quote. Diabolically, demonically inspired financial attack.
Oh, fuck off. God. And so how much money did they raise?
He said, I don't know, but here was part of his pitch. Will you help me take back what the devil stole?
Oh, my God.
The devil stole all this money by forcing us to beat a young boy. Senseless.
I wonder, in schools when they have like the fundraiser and they put the big paper thermometer on the wall and the little mercury goes boop, 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 boop.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Do you think they had like a big paper cut out of a child and it like bruising started at the bottom and just went all the way up?
It's just a little penis.
And oh, owie.
Oh, Lord. Please move on. Please move on before we all just hurt ourselves.
All right. Well, let's go from dumb to dumber. Judge to heroin dealer.
Yeah.
Read this Ben Carson book about God and I won't send you to jail.
No. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Yeah. I can't tell which is worse.
Oh, God, right? I can tell you straight up which is worse. So a guy named Yuri Windleton could have been sentenced to 5 to 10 years in jail for dealing heroin and carrying a gun, but Pennsylvania judge Anthony M. Mariani gave him a way out. All he had to do was read a book by Dr. Ben Carson, a book that promotes God nonstop, report back what he learned from it, and spread the word to people he knew.
Oh, my God.
And that's what Whittleton did, and that's why he's not going to jail.
Well, yeah. Of course you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Although,
I don't know.
Here's what it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if I had been sentenced to read Ben Carson's book, which sounds like torture, cruel and unusual, yes.
Yeah.
But if I did that, would I still be free of jail if what I reported back to the judge was, yes, I read
bullshit.
it. I can't believe the amount of bullshit that this book is.
Yeah.
None of his arguments were convincing. No jail time, please.
Yeah, I did what you said. Well, he said he had to spread the word, so I guess you could spread the word and say,
I
hey,
would
everybody,
totally spread the word about that.
this thing is toilet paper.
Listen, I've got a podcast. I'll spread the fuck out of the word.
Yeah.
I got a show. I got international listenership. I'll spread it.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll like what I spread, but I'll spread it.
Reading his book to me would be like having his crazy fingers in my brain. And so it worked. The guy read the book and he made a book report and he preached it to his fellow prisoners and he got out of jail.
Yeah.
And so, the upside is somebody didn't go to jail for a drug crime, even though heroin, say what you will, and carrying a gun. But is this how we're going to deal with the jail overpopulation and over-incarceration of black people for crimes white people walk away from? I don't know. I don't think...
Hey, at least he didn't sentence him to read a white guy book.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't know that Ben Carson is the answer to this problem.
What?
I know.
What?
I've said it. You heard it here first. You can edit this out. You can edit this out because it's too crazy. But, yeah, just amazing. And
answer to all our incarceration problems.
There have been stories like this before where it's like, well, if you read the Bible, I won't charge you. Or if you go to Sunday school for a year or whatever, I won't charge you.
Right.
So. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather read Ben Carson's 14-page pamphlet on why he's, a friend of Jesus's than the Bible.
Yeah, I'd rather read any of them than go to jail. So
I don't know though. The
Yeah.
Old Testament, that's a slog.
It's a slog.
That's like doing
sure.
5 to 10.
Well, here's the thing. When I was in school, I really learned how to do a pretty convincing book report without ever having read a word.
Oh my God, same here.
So it's not like I'd have to actually read the thing.
Same here. Big margins, double spaced. Come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got it. We got this.
All right, that's enough of that dum-dum.
So I'm going to move on to, if I can find it. Here's the thing. In Missouri, land of enchantment, I believe that is the state motto of
Is it?
Missouri. Or
That's the show me state.
it's the show me yours and I'll show you mine state.
Yeah.
A bunch of kids, apparently, in order to celebrate their hard work prepping for the MAP, the Missouri Assessment Program tests, the 8th graders at North Middle School in Joplin, Missouri, apparently all get to go to a fun time place. They all get to go on a field trip to a place that's got this is a sports complex.
Okay.
Sounds fun?
They get to participate in sport, like a lock-in.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. It's your dream. It's what you would always love.
Oh my God. Whoo, yay, basketball all night.
There's like
Basketball.
the basketball,
Yeah.
the walls of climbing, the various and sundry activities.
Der Schwimmenbad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened? Yeah, it's a dream come true.
Victory Sports Complex is the name of the place. Sounds great
Sure.
until one astute parent noticed on the permission slip the following item. This is sort of buried in the middle. I believe this is item number 6. I understand that the officers, officials, agents, other participants, and employees of Victory Ministry and Sports Complex may be inviting me or my students to Bible studies and local churches of the Christian faith while at any Victory Ministry and Sports Complex location or event. My student has permission to participate in worship services, Bible studies, or any other activities that may pertain to the Christian faith.
So the only sport at the Victory Sports Complex is Bible ball.
Well, Bible ball. That sounds fun.
Bible ball.
I'll play Bible ball.
Yeah.
Do I get to actually hit a Bible with a bat?
Well,
Because that would make me happy.
Let he who is without foul take the first shot? I don't know.
Yeah,
We're gonna workshop it a little bit.
We'll sort it out.
We'll get back to it.
The rules are still unclear for Bible ball.
That's the point.
The rules are not as unclear whether or not this is okay.
You can't do in Bible ball is eat shellfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There is no shrimp and there's no crying in baseball, and there's no clam.
No oysters in Bible ball. So this was a public school?
This is a public school. Apparently, this place plays host to many a school, but there, apparently there haven't been any complaints. I'm guessing everybody in Joplin is a Christian already, anyway. But there have been a few things when I believe Hemant Mehta reached out to the school board and was like, hey, what the fuck? I believe that they said, oh, we didn't see that language. So they voted.
They didn't read all the way to 6.
Right. So that is concerning, and we'll make sure that we look into it. But, yeah. I mean, I think the idea is that they're pretty good about not, like they only proselytize like 4 or 5 times while the kids are there.
Sure.
It's so small.
As long as it's under 10.
Yeah.
Right. If you tell when you tell what are they, 8th graders? What's that? 13?
Yeah.
If you tell a 13-year-old they're going to hell under 10 times per day, I think that's okay.
They're not going to listen to you at all.
According to Missouri law.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they had a fun time at sport.
hope you all enjoyed your Jesus time.
Learning they're going to hell.
Jesus sports.
Well, shall I continue with something?
Yeah.
Well, let us travel south down the Mississippi from Georgia or where were we? Missouri, and then take a little detour to a place that apparently is still a state. I thought it was all settled after the Civil War, that it didn't exist anymore because it was too ridiculous. A place called Alabama.
Alabama.
Yep. Alabama, where, boy, they're having a rough go with governing and government at your et cetera. So
they're not tremendously good at it. Let's just
God. So their governor is embroiled in a really gross sex scandal.
Yeah. We talked about that a little while ago. He's the one, ladies and gentlemen, you'll recall, who he was recorded. His end of a conversation was recorded doing literally the worst phone sex of all time with one of his staffers.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I think I actually have his quote pulled up here.
Do you?
Yes. He said, quote, "You know what? When I stand behind you and I put my arms around you and I put my hands on your breasts and I put my hands on your..." Apparently that part's unintelligible.
What? I'm dying to know what that was.
Yeah, exactly. Judging by the rest of it, it was probably, "And I put my hands toward your vagina and pull you real close. Hey, I love that too, putting my hands under you."
Dirty boy. Dirty,
just literally the least sexy, most disgusting pillow talk of all time.
It's like that Bill O'Reilly conversation where he that was reported in court during his when that woman was suing him for sexual harassment.
Oh, yeah?
"I'll get you in the shower, see? And then I'm going to rub the falafel all over you." One hopes he meant loofah. But
I don't trust that.
yeah,
I believe he may well have known that he was talking about a Middle Eastern food.
some fried chickpea dumplings up on you. Yeah, it's
we're doing this.
So that's the Republican like dirty talk is either so white bread that it puts you to sleep, or it's so frighteningly pinky. So anyway, this isn't about him. Let's not make this about Governor Robert Bentley.
Okay.
So he's under investigation for that.
Yeah.
What did their attorney general do? Probably seen coming out of a building with comical sacks of cash with dollar bills on them. So he's in trouble.
In fairness to him, he was wearing a red and black horizontally striped shirt, and
he had a little eye mask
and
on.
a little eye mask.
So I wonder anybody could recognize him.
I don't know how he didn't get away with it. It must have been those meddling kids.
So, I will give Alabama this. They have one less indicted former attorney general than we do in Utah.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, okay, Alabama, one in the win column for you. So it's not about him. This is not about him.
Okay.
This is about a real favorite of, I think, podcasters everywhere
yes.
and their fans, Judge Roy Moore.
Oh.
Man beloved of giant stone Ten Commandments monuments and putting them where they ain't supposed to be.
Right. Former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Alabama, Judge Roy Moore, who was removed.
Yeah, because of that.
Because of the big Ten Commandments that he wasn't allowed to put up, and they removed him.
That's right.
And then the voters voted him back in because, for some inexplicable reason, they vote on who's their on their Supreme Court justice.
Well, first of all, for some you could have just stopped after for some inexplicable reason they vote.
Well, there is
in
that.
Alabama, but yes, they voted this dingaling back in, and now the gay marriage is legal and/or mandatory in the United States now.
Yeah, I had to marry 2 other guys.
Yeah, and it's not going to stop there, baby. That's the agenda.
It's you guys and your agenda.
So he has said that doesn't apply to Alabama, and that clerks should not issue marriage licenses. And Alabama clerks some have, some haven't. So it's just
that's right. He sent out an order that just said, "Do not do this.
Do not do it." So,
which he had every right to do. By no means,
and
under no circumstances did he have the right to do that.
No, of course not. But he insists that his copy of the Constitution. I think he and Cliven Bundy have the same copy. That
right.
It says here, "I do what I want." Someone read that at me. So he is super, 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 super mad right now. He's been suspended. He's been suspended from the Supreme Court. And someone that has just, every dark story needs a hero.
Sure.
Right? Every great piece of fiction needs a superhero to come shining through.
Right.
Through the smoke and the fire at the end. And by God, Alabama has such a person by the name of Ambrosia Starling. Ambrosia Starling is an Alabamian drag queen.
Oh.
And so
those words are when you put words like that in that order,
it don't make sense.
That's the what now?
Yeah, it's like
we ain't got them.
When you try to push the wrong sides of the magnets together,
right?
Bloop, they shoot out of your hands. So if you're a drag queen in Alabama, you probably are fucking fearless, right?
Oh my God, you've got balls the size of Tennessee.
God. You got balls that just make your outfits a problem because you can't tuck them.
How do you even tuck balls that big?
So she's led all these protests against him. She's been this very public face of the 4 sane Alabamians that are trying to stop this stupidity, and it is driving Roy Moore crazy.
Oh, I love it.
He's so mad that subhuman in his
that
estimation dare have an opinion about his majesty.
Right.
So
I love it.
What did he say? He said when Moore was kicked out, he complained that regulators were, quote, choosing to listen to people like Ambrosia Starling, a professed transvestite, and other gay, lesbian, and bisexual individuals, as well as organizations that support their agenda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so she is not a transvestite. She is a drag queen.
He named her by name.
By her drag name.
I love that shit.
Yeah, I think
that is so fucking good.
I can hear his teeth grinding from here.
Yeah. That sound that you hear late at night, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that sort of creeps in the night, that is the sound of Roy Moore grumbling about what's her name?
Ambrosia Starling.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, I want to meet this lady.
So does that mean that her first pet was Ambrosia? Or the street she grew up on was Ambrosia?
It's so hard to keep track these days. I mean, and obviously it depends on the era in which she came out as a drag queen, because it changes from...
The rules. It's like the hanky code. The rules change
exactly.
all the time. Did you see Spy with Melissa McCarthy? Where she said
yes.
her drag name was?
Because
it was the first
right.
pet in the first street, and she said it was Meatball Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Right.
I was crying. I was laughing so hard. So anyway, Ambrosia Starling, you are this week's hero of the show.
Yeah.
Keep it up and make his head explode all over his inappropriate monuments.
That kind of a thing makes me want to be a drag queen.
I know.
It's so great.
The power of parody and humor over this kind of stupidity and evil. This is such a great example of that.
Well, and it's so good because she first of all, right is on her side.
Of course, yeah.
But she knows how much she is just going to drive him crazy.
Yeah.
And the more she just does her, the more he's going to hate it.
A guy like that has no defense against camp.
No.
He doesn't even know. He has no idea how to get his hands around it.
I could beat him in a real fight, but what's he? The second he puts on those heels and all that sparkly makeup, I just don't know what to do.
I hope the reason Roy Moore's mad is because he's secretly deeply attracted.
Gay is amazing. Oh yeah. Oh no, he doesn't even have to be gay. He could just be attracted to her drag persona.
Ambrosia.
Late at night, he's like hate masturbating.
Oh my God! I'm
all these guys,
pencils in my ears.
Can I just say that all of these guys, Roy Moore, the governor, all of these guys look like, if you ever see a picture of them, they are the uncle that you don't let your kids sit on his lap at Christmas.
Right.
That's who they are. They're the ones who are like, no, come on, sweetheart, don't go over to Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
Uncle Roy is a nice guy, and you can take that present from him, but don't ever.
Yeah.
But always with me in the room.
The secrets that lurk on their hard drives could bring down empires.
Oh my God!
Right.
And their empire specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! All right.
That's a very happy story. Everybody, let's celebrate Ambrosia Starling.
Oh, that's adorable.
Friday the 13th, 2016, Ambrosia Starling Day.
Indeed.
Yes.
Which none of these people will have heard it on that day. That's the day we're recording this. None of our listeners. It's
Saturday the 14th and or Sunday the 15th.
Whenever.
It's the weekend of Ambrosia.
It's a whole week.
Yeah.
This week is Ambrosia Starling week.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to participate in this conversation, we welcome your input. Eventually, Frank will be back, and then we'll actually do things normally and stuff. He should be back.
If anybody's heard from him, tell him we love him.
We're trying to track Frank down. We'll find him eventually. If you want to participate, write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. Or you can do a voicemail. That's 424-666-8442 on the telephones. If you prefer telephony as your
telephony
as your mode of.
That's my drag name.
Your drag name is telephony.
Telephony Magoo.
Telephony mustache.
Yeah.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. That's a good place to go. Or try to find the TGIA members only lounge, also on Facebook. It's a closed group, so no one will know that you're an atheist from that. But it's actually a great group. So even if you don't care if people know you're an atheist, you should still go.
But if you're atheist curious, you can go, right?
Yes. Yes. No, Christian trolls are not allowed, but we'll have the occasional.
If you downloaded the Arabic God Delusion and you're like, I need to talk to somebody about this.
Come on.
That'd be a good place, right?
Sure.
All right.
If I let you in, which I may never do, because I'm lazy. So in a minute we're going to listen to a thing, but I wanted to talk about something. This is an exciting announcement. exciting announcement. Please don't fast forward just yet.
A special offer, everyone.
For those of you who live in or around the area of Utah or are just willing to travel to Utah, on Saturday, the 28th of this month of May.
May 2016.
Of May 2016, there will be a meetup, a Thank God I'm Atheist meetup. It's scheduled, it's in the books. A listener of this fine show and one to whom you, Mark, are related. Your brother Doug,
yes,
has hooked us up.
Yes,
and we've got we've got a place at the Wasatch Brewery,
Wasatch Pub Brewery, right.
brew pub,
something like that. Yeah,
in Sugar House here in Salt Lake City on the 28th, and that'll be at 7:30 o'clock. So yeah, please come to that. Please plan on it. And Mark, I think you'll be there, and
I'm going to be there.
Frank and I will be there.
I actually think I'm going to fill in for Frank.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You'll be there. I think maybe Jake, who's been filling in, will be there,
yeah.
and there's an outside chance that Mackenzie will even be there. She's from Texas, so that'd be neat. You can meet her, maybe. But yes, meet me and Frank and all the gang. And we're going to have just a grand old time. And even accompanied miners may come. Not people who work in a mine. They're also welcome.
You're welcome if you're in West Virginia right now, chipping out coal to power this country. You come on to the meetup.
You're more than welcome.
We are not anti-miner.
No. So yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife, and come out to the meetup. That'll be fun.
Woohoo!
Right now, we're going to listen to some audio. So here it is.
You know, if you're like me, I'm appalled. I'm simply appalled that the United States government, with all of its power and all of its money, is going to spend all this time and effort making sure that the fraction of 1% of people who are so-called transgenders can go into the women's or the men's bathrooms. I mean, how absurd can you get? How does this become a great civil rights issue? You know, this is absurd. And if there is a shift in administration, and I think there's going to be from what the polls begin to show us, if there is a shift in administration, Loretta Lynch will be out on her ear. She will no longer be the Attorney General of the United States. And, of course, that means that this particular suit by the federal government will be dismissed by the federal government. But to penalize the state, billions of dollars, take away school funding because they don't want men going into women's bathrooms? I mean, isn't this awful? You just wonder, and they make a big civil rights thing about it. It's got nothing to do with civil rights. It's just absurd. It's merely part of the socialist, humanist agenda to destroy the Judeo-Christian fabric of this nation. That's what it's all about. We want to take away everything that you considered morality and everything you consider decency, and we're going to run roughshod over you, and if you don't like it, that's tough. We're going to penalize you as hard as we can. Don't think they're just being benign. This isn't defending people. No way under heaven. But, folks, this is America, and this is who you put in office. You elected him. I didn't elect him. You did. The American people. They put him in a couple terms.
Oh, Pat. Patty boy.
First of all, I love the first time he said it. He said, "Government.
I think somewhere in the middle there he may have burped while he was talking. I think he burped.
Well, he's outgassing because of decay.
Oh, you and your turn of phrase, Mr. Mark. He died 4 months ago and nobody told him.
He died during the Coolidge administration. They just weekend at Bernie's him in front of the TV.
Oh, my God. There's something delightful about the phrase, we're going to penalize you as hard as we can.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he might not be meaning what he thinks he's meaning.
Oh, maybe he is.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, he's afraid of Oh, that...
Yeah, well, I don't know if he knew what he was saying there, because if you were born before Sigmund Freud, then Freudian slip maybe is not something that you can be held accountable for.
Yeah,
it didn't exist before Freud.
Before Freud came about, he's very concerned about you queer people.
Well, he's very concerned about this. This is a wonderful lead into the great trans panic of 2016.
Yes, we're not going to get to that just yet. Okay, but yeah, we will be talking about that.
But this is a color of that particular rainbow.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that dark black.
And he
rainbow.
keeps going. You're making such a big deal about this. It's like, Patty, somebody's making a big deal.
Right?
About
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
One of us is.
Yeah.
One of us is just saying, go ahead and go pee.
Yeah.
And the other one's going, it's the end of the goddamn world.
And I love the metric that, it's this tiny 1% of the population. It's like, your ability to gain and achieve civil rights should be based on your percentage of the population.
Right, yeah, exactly. If there had only been 0.2% black people in the United States, slavery would be fine. I don't know why there would be such an issue. It was just we got greedy.
Well,
we had too many.
According to people of Pat's ilk, slavery is kind of fine.
Well, according to their favorite book.
Yeah.
Their favorite book is pretty damned okay with it.
Favorite implies that you've read another.
Oh, well.
And then there was a comparison.
I don't think it does. I think that you can just have the only book you've ever even kind of looked at be your favorite book.
Right. It's like saying you're my favorite mom.
Right, exactly. Of all the moms I've ever had,
yeah, exactly.
It's you, and I hate you.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Patty boy. Before we get into the rest of this discussion, there's another thing that I want to bring up. And ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting for you. Not for me. I don't really care.
Congratulations for whatever this is.
Right. Oh, we got a new sponsor on the program here today. We've got Loot Crate. I don't know if you've heard of Loot Crate. Have you ever heard of Loot Crate?
I haven't yet. Tell me more.
Loot Crate is a monthly package that you get in the mail. This is it's actually so much fun. It's if you are geeky. As like, for instance, if you're like Frank, if you're to Frank level geekiness, you're gonna love it. If you're to Dan level geekiness, you're gonna really like it. If you're to Frank level geekiness, you've probably already signed up.
I think you're making a huge assumption about the audience here.
But
I'll allow it.
Frank level geeky.
Well, they might be geeks, but I'll allow it.
No, I'll tell you this. Our Jake, who has been on the show a couple times in the past few weeks. Jake already is a Loot Crate customer, so when he found out about this, he was through the moon. Here's what happens in Jake's house, according to him. When the Loot Crate box comes in the mail, the whole family gathers round, and then it is opened, and they tear into it like velociraptors, just trying to claim the goodies that are therein contained.
Really?
Yeah. So every month you're going to get probably a T-shirt that's cool. Now I got one this month. The T-shirt was this awesome vintage, like old school Star Trek thing. So that was cool. Mm-hmm. It came with a beanie that had like Marvel. It's a reversible beanie.
Oh,
red on one side with a little little Daredevil logo, black on the other side with a Punisher logo.
So it's kind of Comic-Con.
If you're into comic
sci-fi,
books, if you're into sci-fi, if you're into like all the Marvel stuff, if you're into all of the I think comic book stuff. I got a comic book in like an exclusive comic book in the box. Wow. There was a Alien versus Predator toy. There's a pin. There's it's just a crate full of stuff. And apparently this is the good one. There are other services like this out there. This is the good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to harp on it too much. If that sounds appealing to you, then you should definitely sign up for it. What you do is you go to lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist. And then we get credit for it, and you get to sign up for this awesome service. And your family will be very happy. Or just you will be very happy, and screw those guys.
And maybe you'll
get their own.
You'll be so happy you'll start a family.
Don't do that.
Why not?
There's too many people in the world.
With an Alien versus Predator, like
Yeah, that's true. Start a family and then set them against each other. How about that?
For geeks, that's like a Barry White album.
Yeah, that's true.
You can get it on.
That's true.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's a fun thing.
Yeah, it's a super fun thing. And yeah, if you go to Loot Crate, LOOTCRATE, lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist, then everyone makes out. We get some support from you, and you get like awesome shit every month.
Goodies.
So yes, please do that. And that's that.
Cool.
So let's get back to this whole these trans people. It's the trans panic. Run for your lives. It's people who want to go potty.
It's your God-given right to drop a deuce next to somebody who agrees with you on everything is being violated.
Right, yes.
Who shares your worldview 100%.
Right, exactly. Someone might pee in the stall next to you in a way other than how you pee.
Oh, boy.
So this is obviously everybody knows that this is going on. It is amazing what's happening out in the world right now. How crazy it is, how crazy the conservative right-wing Christians are getting about this thing.
It would be funny. It would be funny if it wasn't about really cruelly targeting and singling out for violence a very small percentage of our population, but one that is very vulnerable to begin with.
Yes.
So one would love to laugh, but it's just so disgraceful
just
and
not
evil.
Funny. Here's the thing: they are the vulnerable ones because what you hear from these Christian asswipes all day, every day is, "I don't want a man in the bathroom sneaking up on my little girl and my wife to attack them." Well, guess what? Your girl and your wife are not the ones getting attacked in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The trans folks
are
getting attacked in the bathrooms.
Yeah. So
literally. And by like police officers and stuff. Like people are trying to pull there actual I saw a video of a woman being pulled from a line to get into the ladies' room because ladies can't use the bathroom fast, I guess, because they don't have the stand-up to pee option.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's weird. So there's a line to get into the ladies' room. One of the ladies looked a little masculine. She was a lesbian. She had a sort of fun, like, androgynous thing going on. Kind of cute. Baseball cap, whatever.
Yeah.
Pulled from the line because she couldn't produce identification.
Where did this happen?
Oh, on the internet. I don't know. In the world.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, pulled from the line by police officers. Come on, sir. Sir, come on.
Oh my God! By police?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
So this is where we are. This is where we are. We are at a point where, in order to protect people who don't need protecting, we are harassing and assaulting people who do need protection.
Persecuting.
Yes.
People who need protections, and all they want to do is pee. All they want to do is
make a tinkle.
Get in and get out. Now, pardon me. This guy, I saw this great tweet from a trans man who went into a women's bathroom, probably with a couple women friends of his, and they were standing in the mirror as if they were, using the sink.
Right.
And he stood behind them and took a picture and said, "Do you want me in the bathroom with your daughter?"
To be clear to everyone, if you're not familiar with the terminology, a trans man is a person who was assigned who has the genitalia or had the genitalia of a female
at birth,
and but is actually a man and is assuming their role as a male person.
Yeah, identifies as a male.
Right.
And
trans woman is just the opposite.
Exactly. And in many cases, I think in most cases, will adopt the identity of the gender that they feel they truly are.
And I'll tell you what, trans men, so plenty of trans women pass.
Sure.
For women.
Yeah.
But trans men, when they pass, they pass.
This person who shot who sent the tweet I was telling you about looked like me. Yeah. And not everybody out there knows what I look like, but I'm gorgeous, right?
You are a stunner.
I am a middle-aged paunchy Adonis,
and as masculine as you please.
Pretty like for a big old gay, I kind of look like the brawny man with architect's glasses
and a mustache,
right,
to beat all mustaches.
It is impressive, if I may say so. I was once told by a Texas Ranger that I had an amazing mustache. That is the truth. He stopped me at the security check through the state capitol of Texas. Hey man! I turned around. He's like, "Sweet stash." I was like, "Boom!"
Damn.
Yeah.
If you're let's just say it. Yeah. If your mustache passes Texas muster,
oh yeah,
you have won at mustaching, my friend.
I'm in a very exclusive club.
You are.
But the point is not that yes, I'm gorgeous. Yes, I'm one of history's great men. That's not the point. The point is that many trans men look like myself or Dan.
Yeah.
And are in every way, without a very invasive search.
Yeah, if you don't get all the way down to the bathroom to the swimsuit area.
Yeah. And
you're not going to know that this is not a man, or that this is not a former woman.
So this whole thing is another perfect example of what I frequently like to say about the very conservative Christian mindset is what constitutes that is the inability to think a thought all the way to the end.
Right, yes.
So just when you think, oh, I don't want a man in the bathroom, don't stop there. Keep thinking about it. Take
further.
Another 30 seconds. Keep thinking about it and think, what does what you think is a woman look like?
Right.
It looks like a dude. They look like a dude.
Right. So in trying to keep, quote, men out of the, quote, ladies' room, what you're doing is you're putting very, very manly guys into the ladies' room.
Yeah, or even slightly androgynous-looking guys, but generally men. In a police lineup, you would say man, 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 man.
Right.
I
mean,
so you're forcing them into your daughter's bathroom, you fucking morons.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. If I were a trans man, I would. I'm a bold human as a person. It's something that
you are.
Boldness is part of my personality. So I would probably go into ladies' rooms all the time, and when people knowing full well that people are going to freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then be like, look, this is where everyone's telling me I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is where the law in West Virginia tells me I have to be.
Yeah.
So now that law,
North Carolina,
North Carolina, yes, I knew it was in the South and had a directional.
Who gives a shit?
An ordinate to it. So North. Yes, I would go to North Carolina and I would go to the bathroom and I'd just be like, if you don't like it, that's your fucking law.
Yeah,
I don't like this any more than you do.
Yeah, and how do you enforce it? And the way because this is just to gin up the rubes. The way this is going to enforce, it's going to self-enforce, is that rednecks and awful shitbags are going to be like, hey, I don't want you in my bath, and they're going to beat up.
They're going to beat up people.
Like maybe they're going to beat up an effeminate man,
right,
in a bathroom because they think it's a trans person.
Right, exactly.
Or they're going to beat up actual trans people,
right,
trans women who they don't think are passing properly, who they judge, or
right.
It's a fucking nightmare.
I read another thing online, a woman telling a story about how she was going. She was in the far stall. This is a woman, always been assigned as a woman. She is fortunate enough to be a cisgendered woman.
Right.
Went to the bathroom, looks like a woman.
Yeah.
No problem. Went to the far stall, started to use the bathroom, heard footsteps come in, walk right past all of the open stalls, and an eyeball peered between the cracks. And
she thought a creeper.
She's like, she was terrified.
She's a creeper, a creepy person.
And then she heard a voice say, oh, okay, I was just checking to make sure you're not one of them trans people.
Fuck. What? Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
This is what we have. We now have policing, but it's citizens on patrol in the bathrooms.
Pee-pee police.
The pee-pee police.
Yeah.
Doing the creepy behavior that they're theoretically worried about. They are now doing exactly the thing that they are like, oh, we don't want anybody peeping.
Right.
Guess what? You're peeping.
And trans people who may or may not, but I would assume many times may live a fairly complicated life.
It's tough.
Because of family issues and cultural issues, society issues,
Right.
and because of the difficulty of transition and all that stuff, are already in a fucking spot, man. And they're already in this place where it's tough and it's scary to go out in public sometimes, especially if you live in a fucking place like that.
Yeah.
And now there's just going to be this huge red flag over them.
Yeah.
That and it's going to invite violence.
These conservative dickheads, these Christian assholes, have painted a huge target on it. And why?
And who are so fucking persecuted because they're 80% or whatever of the country.
Right, yeah. Oh, God. Those
Right.
poor Christians
Right.
who are losing this country because of President Obama.
And you know what you do? You know what the deal is? If some creeper goes into your daughter's bathroom and looks over the stall at her or whatever, first you call the Capitol Police because it's probably a Republican senator.
Right.
But there are laws.
Yeah.
If public indecency
it's already
exposing
illegal.
yourself to a child and, all that stuff there is a law.
Touching a person that doesn't want to be touched.
Exactly.
That's against the law no matter what gender you're presenting as.
Yeah.
No matter what gender you believe you are, you're not allowed to do that already.
Yeah.
It's already on the books.
There are protections for that sort of shit.
It's in place and solid.
And
There's
literally
nothing you need to do.
Literally, there are more Republican politicians have been arrested for lewd behavior in bathrooms than trans people.
Indeed.
So far, a national search has turned up exactly, let me see the tabulation recently, 0.
Carry the 2.
Yeah.
None.
0.
0 trans people arrested for lewd behavior in bathrooms.
So once again, the entire political, legal apparatus of the Christian right has been activated for a problem that does not exist.
Well, I mean, I think that actually, and this is what I wanted to get to. You have hit the nail on the head. What these people like to do, and people like Robertson, people like Limbaugh, people like Brian Fisher, the way that they get their ratings is by freaking people out. And it's so much easier to make people scared of a non-existent problem than of a real problem.
Right, because if it's a real problem, then you've got to offer some kind of solution.
And you've got to, there's evidence around, and there's all this pesky like reality.
Yeah.
But if you just make up a problem and start like screaming about it, and it seems like and it's a problem that doesn't know how to defend itself because they've never encountered this kind of craziness before.
Yeah.
You get ratings. Yeah. That is how you get ratings. This is how Fox News works. It is based entirely on I'm going to make you as afraid as I can. It's the whole, there's death in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Want to learn how? Tune in at 11.
Right.
It's that thing.
And it's death panels, and it's the government's coming to get your guns, and it's just all this bullshit.
You need to be afraid. Right. Be afraid.
And yet this entire movement of Christian conservatism poses as tough guys.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use a pejorative word that's not nice. They're pussies. It's just this weak, fearful, hair trigger panic.
Yeah.
If you're
I feel offended by what you just said because I love pussies, and I feel like you have just
I know
you have just cast aspersions on the pussies.
I'm going to take all the hits I deserve for that, but that was just
they're fucking weaklings.
They're weak.
They are sad little men.
Yeah.
Who like their penises are very, very small indeed.
Yeah. It's like,
and it hurts their feelings.
When the military, when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was done away with.
Yeah.
And they're all like, well, I don't want to shower with a gay man. It's like, you already have.
You already did it. You've been doing it this whole time.
Your whole life. I don't want trans people in my bathroom. It's already happened.
They're already there, dude.
It's already happened. And look, you're okay, baby.
You are fine,
you're
sweetie.
Okay, tender one.
Oh, little.
It's just this combination of shrieking rage and fear is so exhausting.
Yeah.
To grow up, accept that there's complexity in the world, and that other people will use the bathroom just to take a shit like you, and they just want to get out of there.
Right.
This idiot governor of North Carolina it's just falling apart around him, and he's trying to defend it. And so now he's said that he on one of the morning shows, He said that the government should revisit the 1964 Civil Rights Act.
What?
That the federal government should visit the 1964 Civil Rights Act that desegregated this country and allowed people of color to sit at lunch counters and use toilets and drink water at their will. Right? We should revisit that so we have segregated bathrooms for trans people.
That's amazing.
This is how far down the rabbit hole this widow pee-pee panic has driven potentially 50% of this country.
It's amazing. Here's what that should say to people, because I have often heard, for instance, like the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah.
Your caucus. Don't call me a caucus.
Well, it's debatable.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The Congressional Black Caucus, right, which is a consortium of senators and congresspeople who are of African American descent.
Yeah.
And they were trying at one point to disavow the fight for civil rights for gay people and transgender people, but for the LGBT community, as not being the same as civil rights for black people.
Right.
Well, look, if the fight against the rights of transgender people leads someone to say, well, maybe we should revisit the segregation.
Yeah.
Guess what, black folk?
Yeah.
You got yourself the same fight.
Yeah. Time to revisit your thinking on that subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy that, like Pat Robertson was saying again, well, there's only 1% of the country. Okay, well, fuck them,
Right, yeah.
Fuck them.
Oh, it's less, 1%.
You gotta be, 80% before we can protect
1%,
your rights.
that's only 30 million.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah. So I read a great...
No, that's 10%. Sorry, 3 million. That's
3
only
million.
3 million. Jesus Christ.
That's like the population of Utah.
Yeah. Let's fuck them.
Is everybody in Utah trans?
Everyone in Utah is trans. That is something that we haven't actually said out loud yet.
So
everyone in Utah is, in fact,
we were
trans.
talking a little bit before the show, and what gay LGBT people have been fighting, as long as it was not super fatal to do it,
right,
for years in this country, to gain some respect, to gain a modicum of civil rights, to get not get fired, be able to rent or buy a house, et cetera, et cetera. And God bless everybody who fought so hard to do that. But what really changed it was this massive groundswell of regular folk and non-LGBT people who joined the fight and really, lifted that boat and pushed it over.
Sure. Allies, if you will.
Allies. And it was a massive swell of support. And now we're on the other side of a landmark moment.
Right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
He's talking about me, you guys.
I was talking about Dan. Are we still on the air? Oh, shit. I think that has not fully happened for our trans brothers and sisters, but it's happening.
It's starting to.
It's happening. And a lot of it is a reaction to this evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to see the evil that is befalling our trans as you say, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
These are friends in the fight.
Yeah.
And here's the problem. For the longest time, even the gay community was rejecting trans people when in the fight.
Yeah.
They were uncomfortable with trans people being part of their fight.
Yeah. It's ugly. That's a very ugly truth.
So the thing is, I think a lot of people just have trouble wrapping their head around this whole trans issue.
Yeah.
And I get it, because my gender seems great for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was assigned male at birth.
So therefore, it's the right one.
Everything lined up.
Yeah.
No problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Obviously, it works.
Yeah.
The system works.
Yeah, the system works for me.
For me.
And therefore, it need not work for anyone else.
And to be perfectly honest, I can't imagine the system not working.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense to my
Right.
brain to have all of the physical things and all of the outward shows of gender not match the inward shows of gender.
Right.
None of that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Who the fuck cares? And
It doesn't have to make sense to me.
Right. You don't have to wrap your head around it.
No, just believe this person.
Yeah.
This person has struggled plenty.
Just believe it.
Just believe them.
Yeah. Just to say, you don't even have to like it.
No.
There is no legal force to make you like anybody else in this country
No.
or their situation.
Right.
But it is their situation, and at the end of the day, it's none of your goddamn business.
No,
You know,
it's just not.
I'm not super curious about the person in the stall next to me. I just want to get out of there.
Yeah,
You know?
frankly, if you are really looking around the bathroom every time you go into a public restroom,
You're creepy.
you're creepy.
You're creepy.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Just go pee, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Please wash your hands, and then leave.
Your man hands, your lady hands, I don't care.
All of any hands you have.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whether they present as male or female, whether they it
Slender hands, manly hands.
Yeah. I feel like you know what we need to do in this country. We need to start a thing where cisgendered men, dress as women and go into the men's room and just pee. And we're just going to get everybody used to, you're about to be uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah. I don't know.
You'll get beat up, but
yeah, it just seems like there's so much. There's such a explosive potential around this for where people are going to get hurt. And I have an acquaintance who's raising a trans daughter who's 9.
Yeah.
And I gotta imagine the fear that they experience. And this kid is so lucky that she's got good parents and is in a good school and has good friends and it has community.
There's support.
Right, but imagine how terrifying it must be as that parent.
Yeah.
To see this going on, my God.
What's amazing is, like, when you see kids responding to a trans kid, their first response is like, what? And maybe a little bit of making fun of, and then 15 seconds later, it's like, wait, do you still play kickball? Okay, cool, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like literally it takes them 15 seconds because they don't have their set views on how the world works.
Yeah.
They're just like, if you tell them, sometimes people switch genders, they're like, okay, I didn't know that, but cool, whatever.
And it's so lucky that, pardon me, things seem to be changing so fast.
Yeah.
Again, part of it is, I think, a reaction to this evil that normal people are like, hey, that's really shitty. Why would you treat someone like that? Yeah. But this millennial and younger generation, I don't know what was in the water when their parents were getting pregnant, but holy shit, it's amazing.
These millennials
don't care.
No, they don't give a fuck.
So our generation and the boomers, everybody needs to fucking die.
Yeah.
And just leave the world to these nicer.
Or just be good.
Yeah.
So I think here's the takeaway that I want everybody to take away from this discussion. If you out there listening are a cisgendered person, meaning a non-trans person, a person whose inward and outward feelings of gender agree,
and generally heterosexual,
fucking defend your transgender brothers and sisters. Get out there.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity to stand up for trans people, stand up. It's time. We need it.
Yeah.
Good. So, with that in mind, if you have suggestions on how to stand up for trans people or anything like that, please write into the podcast. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com is the email address. Or it's the email, e-female, whichever.
It's all good. It's the gender neutral address. All are welcome.
It's
Come shit in our inbox.
Or you can call in. The number is 424-666-8442, 666-TGIA. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Go to try and get into the members only lounge. That's TGIA members only lounge on the Facebooks. Go to lootcrate.com and get your geek gear going. Get your geek on.
Get your 20-sided die.
I don't think any of that happens. It's all just cool hip stuff.
What?
Actually, though, I
Wait
will say
a
this.
minute. That's
I will
not
say
cool.
This.
Ooh, you're going to get so many letters.
I know. Jake actually was super excited. Jake, you listeners who heard his voice may not have pictured quite what he looks like. Jake looks like a Viking.
Jake looks like he kicked in a door on Game of Thrones.
Jake looks like if he was wearing a motorcycle jacket, you'd cross the street to avoid walking next to him.
Yeah.
Jake actually got a Viking horn drinking cup in a Loot Crate and was so stoked about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing. Loot Crate. So go to lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist. not TGIA, which was apparently taken. What? So TGI Atheist, and they'll get you all hooked up with the goods there. So thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their fine music. Thank you, Mackenzie, for doing the Facebook page. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks, Mark, for filling in yet again.
Again, if Frank's on the milk cartons, if anybody sees him, call that number.
He'll hopefully we'll have him back next week.
Yeah, and we'll see y'all at the meetup. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. The meetup on the 28th of this month at Wasatch Brew
Pub, I guess, in Sugar House, 21st South, 11th East, 7:30 p.m.
That's the stuff. Get there.
I think we're upstairs.
Be there or be square. I'm actually
baby.
making a square with my fingers. All right. Thank you, Mark, for showing up. And thanks,
Bye.
everybody, for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.